Hey there, how's it going? It's a beautiful day. Weatherman said minus 20, but I don't know. The blue sky and the sun, it feels like minus 15. How?
Yeah, so the presentation you're about to see is a compilation of some of the more noteworthy projects which have recently taken control of my brain space. It's a recap of concepts, designs, and prototypes. What began as a hobby has evolved into a full-bore obsession, I'm afraid. The inspiration comes from many sources, but many are dredged directly from the gray matter. The tricky part, I find, is always the how-to. Because you see, many times the monster my brain has created requires a fabrication process for which my hands possess no prior working knowledge. To do this sort of thing, it pays to enjoy the uphill climb. But one can leverage this handicap through a process of reduction. In my case, it's a reduction in the number of moving parts, or a reduction in the technological complexity of whatever it is I'm making. Invariably, I find the most elegant designs are also the most simple. Enjoy. The no-spill, no-prime alcohol stove, modeled after the famed cat stove, possessed none of the cat stove's shortcomings. In addition, it came with an integrated collapsible pot stand, simmering ring, snuff cap, and retaining clip. Version 2 of the alcohol stove is notable for a reduced stove profile paired with a flexible pot stand windscreen combo. These changes were driven by the need to adapt the stove to achieve maximum efficiency and nest within the GSI SOLOIST cookset. Initially intended as an affordable tin can wood-burning hobo stove, the Tiki stove beautifully illustrates the nesting capabilities of a multi-fuel cook system. Originally designed to pack inside the GSI SOLOIST cookset, the wood-burning hobo stove possessed a continuous side-loading feed port. From here, it was a short leap to adapt the inclusion of an alcohol burner as a secondary heat source option. This was achieved by careful positioning of the feed port at the correct height to best maximize the efficiency of the alcohol burner relative to the bottom of the cook pot. 2 pins are passed through the back of the wood burner and rest on the lower lip of the feed port. A metal disc stored in the bottom of the stove is then laid across the pins, creating a stable platform for the alcohol burner. The stove body then serves as a windscreen for the alcohol burner. The rice cooker uses the same alcohol burner except with a sliding windscreen. No pot stand is required as the pot is held in place by the tension resulting from the folded screen. 1 ounce of fondue fuel boils 2 cups of water in under 6 minutes. With the removal of the burner, the pot may be lowered, allowing the screen to then work as a heat reflector. 1 cup of rice cooks in 20 minutes. I designed a removable windscreen for my wood gas cook stove, which packs inside the GSI SOLOIST cookset. The windscreen maximizes the available heat from 1 load of wood to boil 2 cups of water, thus eliminating the need to reload the stove. The windscreen, retaining clips, and pot stand store inside the stove, which is then nested in the cook pot. The hybrid wood-gas rocket stove was a concept aimed at combining the smoke-free functionality of a wood gas burner with the continuous feed capability of a rocket stove. The goal was to develop a practical, lightweight stove which cost little or preferably no money to produce. The prototype was assembled from an assortment of 5 tin cans salvaged from local recycle bins. The real challenge of this exercise was in the assembly process itself. The available tools at hand for assembly included a carpenter's knife, a pair of tin snips, and a hand drill. The result was a stove that was easy to make and performs like a charm. It's a breeze to light, it burns clean and hot, and it's easy to put out. Commercially available camp hammocks tend to fall into a one-size-fits-all category. True comfort requires a custom fit. I built mine to suit my height of 6 feet 1. The suspension system utilizes a no-stretch polyester tree strap. Adjustable Dyneema whoopee slings are paired to the straps, utilizing a simple marlin spike hitch. This setup allows for a perfect pitch between virtually any two trees. Incorporated into this setup is a custom-made, removable, soft-seal bug net. When the hammock is occupied, it fills out against the sides of the bug net, forming the soft seal. Easy to get in, easy to get out. There are no zippers to fail, no Velcro to tear. A shock cord drawstring at the bottom of the net allows for any desired closure adjustment. Elegant simplicity. For less than $10, the 3-season hex tarp uses low-density polyethylene paired with UV-resistant clear duct tape to achieve a versatile, minimalist ultralight hammock tarp. Load tension at the ridge line and tie-out points is carried by the fiber-reinforced duct tape. The perimeter of this tarp is reinforced using ordinary strapping tape. The same strapping tape is used to make the tie-out loops. Like any other tarp, it packs conveniently inside its own set of tarp skins. The 4-season man cave is an exercise in designing the perfect sil nylon tarp for all seasons. The doors at each end are held closed with a simple shock cord and toggle. Its generous sidewall dimensions enable a high pitch for standing interior headroom or, when conditions demand, a tight pitch right down to the ground. It can be pitched with the doors tied back in an open position like a hex tarp or doubled over as a simple one-sided lean-to. The options are unlimited. I chose a heavy-duty no-seam bug netting material to make the tarp skins for this tarp to help inhibit the occurrence of mold, should the tarp be wet. For top layer warmth, the IXDL top quilt was designed to replace a standard sleeping bag specifically for hammock use. 2 layers of breathable insulative material are sandwiched together in a unique fashion to create air pockets, which provide top layer sleeping comfort down to 5 degrees Celsius. Unlike goose down, this material loses none of its insulative properties even when wet. A Velcro strip closes the top quilt up to knee-high. A drawcord closure in the footbox allows for the regulation of airflow based on the outside temperature. The quilt can be opened completely to use as a blanket or when air drying. This 14-ounce synthetic quilt measures 80 inches by 40 inches with packing characteristics very similar to down. For bottom layer warmth, the IXDL Reactor Underquilt is designed to hang snugly against the back side of your hammock. 2 layers of insulative material are differentially cut and sewn together, creating a lofted volume of trapped air. This air absorbs and traps body heat lost from the hammock. Up to 80% of the warm air radiates back to the hammock via a reflective mylar sheet sewn in between the 2 layers of insulation. Airflow at the end of the underquilt is controlled by adjustable shock cords and cord locks. Like the top quilt, this component performs even when wet and packs similarly to down. Toto 2 LHT is a 10-pound long-haul trekking trailer designed to carry a maximum load of 80 pounds. The inspiration for the design came to me while contemplating a solo trek across Canada. Toto 2 carries all of the weight that my skinny frame cannot, and it does so over any kind of terrain, with or without air in the tires. The materials consist of 2 aluminum curtain rods bent to form the shape of the trailer. A magic carpet plastic sled cut to shape forms the bed of the trailer. Brass grommets enable the bed to be attached using UV-resistant zip ties. The harness is a Mountain Equipment Co-op fanny pack. The harness is attached to the trailer using 2 carabiners clipped on to prusik knots on the handles. The prusik knots slide along the trailer handles for customizable adjustments. For the MISSISQUOI Soloist canoe, I chose the skin-on-frame boat building technique to create an ultralight solo canoe that could easily be portaged or pulled on a trailer by a bicycle. A centuries-old fabrication technique perfected by the Greenland Inuit pairs beautifully with modern materials to create a fully functional work of art. Western red cedar stringers are lashed to steam-bent ash ribs to create the skeletal form. Then a skin of heavyweight Dacron polyester is tacked and heat shrunk to the frame. The skin is later sealed with a polyurethane, and then she's ready for action. If for whatever reason there's a problem, the skin needs to be replaced, a new one can be applied in a few short hours. To complete this, I carved a Greenland-style paddle out of western red cedar. The bike trailer for this boat is still on the drawing board.